Welcome to Magic Beyond the Books. Today we're talking about the scene where Harry takes liquid luck. I'm Jess.
And I'm Renee. Warning, there are Harry Potter spoilers in this episode. So for reference, if you like to go back, this is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which is book 6. It's chapter 22 after the burial, why did I say that weird? Burial? Through chapter, like the very beginning of chapter 23, Horcruxes, pages 477 to 492. Or if you're an audiobook listener, just go to chapter 22 and around like 11-ish minutes into the chapter to just like the very beginning, first like 30 seconds or so of the chapter 23. But quick summary. So this is our first funeral scene. I think there's only 2 funerals in all of the Harry Potter books, right? That we get. Oh no, maybe 3. I can think of 3.
Cedric, Dumbledore, and this. Is that
No,
what you're thinking?
I was thinking of Dobby Dumbledore in this.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of funerals. There's a lot of people who die. So.
Oh, okay, but Cedric's, I guess, yeah, they say like some words about Cedric. I didn't count that as like a funeral, but yeah, it kind of is. But yeah, we don't. And Dobby's is kind of like haphazard, like
yeah.
You could even like say, I think after Mad Eye dies and Harry gets his eye back from Umbridge, he like buries it somewhere. So like you could maybe call that a funeral. But anyway, so maybe there are more funerals than I remember. But this is the first one we're covering on the pod. Harry Potter takes Felix Felicis and attends a funeral for a spider. That's my summary.
Probably need to, we need to adjust right away. Is it Felix Felicis or Felix Felicis? Is it just like, does it depend on if you're British or not?
I call it Felix Felicis, which might not be the proper pronunciation. I think my pronunciations go off of like how I hear them in the audiobook.
Oh, okay. I feel like I know. Oh my gosh, now I can't even think. What do I normally say? Felix Felicis. That's what I say.
Okay.
I don't think that's right though. Now that I'm saying it out loud.
It's gonna be too hard. I'm not gonna like make you say it any other way, so just say it. say it how you say it, and it comes naturally.
Director Renee is gonna cut and slice and dice until I'm pronouncing it the right way. So
Director Renee is loose on her pronunciations for the actors and actresses. Okay, so let's do our listener question of the week. Listener question of the week: if you had to pick 7 Horcruxes for yourself, what would they be? And by this question, we mean items that represent you, not about like their difficulty to be able to be found or destroyed. Like not like a grain of rice that you throw in the Atlantic Ocean. Like something that's more along the lines of how Voldemort was thinking, where it's like a representation of him or things that were important to him.
Mm-hmm. I love this question because I think it'll be really fun. I need to send you pictures of all my stuff and then we can put it on the socials and like have like a little collage of our Horcruxes.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Important question before we get into that. Did you rank yours in order of like, oh, this is my most important one, or did you just have 7 things?
No, they're just 7 things. They're not in like order of importance.
Okay. I don't care whatever way you want to do it. I mean, we could do the 7 like just so it's like mine and yours.
Okay, let's do it like that then. The only thing I'll say up top though is like addressing the obvious. I think neither of us would actually create Horcruxes. Like
I don't know. You're a Capricorn, so you might. But
I mean, we wouldn't actually do this. I would just live the life that I would live and just accept that I die when I die. And it's important to note too that like Horcruxes, Voldemort damaged his soul so badly by doing this that like he didn't even feel when pieces of his soul were being destroyed. So like this is not advisable, but but just for the sake of the question, we'll answer it.
Gotcha. All right, you want me to go first?
Yeah, do yours.
Okay, so my first one, I think it's self-explanatory. It's Zelda, my cat Zelda.
Okay.
So just like Nagini, how he has Nagini, I'm gonna keep Zelda close. I'm gonna speak to her, and yeah. So my cat Zelda.
Okay.
So that's my first Horcrux. The second one would be my grandmother's necklace. So my grandmother passed, actually inherited one of her gold necklaces, and I actually wear it all the time. So I think that would be my second Horcrux, just like the locket. Third would be a book, and it's funny because it's most likely going to be a Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
So if I had to choose one Harry Potter book, it'd be Half-Blood Prince. That's my favorite one.
Okay.
Or
which is 6 for reference.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, if you don't know Half-Blood Prince is book 6 by now, what podcast have you been listening to?
I know, but it's just like, for some reason I know, like for me, for whatever reason, Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince, they kind of like blur together. Sometimes I'll be like, oh wait, I meant Half-Blood Prince, not Order of the Phoenix or whatever.
I think the reason Half-Blood Prince is my favorite is because it's before the last one, and it's like a mix of, you know, him and Dumbledore like finding out about Horcruxes. Like it's kind of the start of Harry's Horcrux journey, but it's also still like them in school. So I like that it's both at the same time, and it's kind of like there's a lot of tension in that book, I feel. We're literally talking about it today, so. Yeah,
this scene is from book 6. One of my favorite things about book 6 is it's definitely the most romance heavy of the books. Yeah.
And I did say, so a book, so it's either going to be Half-Blood Prince or Pride and Prejudice. If we're going to go non-Harry Potter, it's going to be Pride and Prejudice.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Darcy. Number 4 is
I'm surprised you didn't say like the DVD or, you know, kids.
Oh my god.
That's how we used to watch movies. The DVD of like the 2005 Pride and Prejudice.
2005 Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one of my Horcruxes.
I literally just watched that the other night. I was telling you about it, but for the listeners, like it's like one of my like comfort movies. I love that movie.
That is, whenever I'm sick, I watch Pride and Prejudice.
It's a good sick movie.
Yeah, it's good to just lay there and like watch it. Yeah. Number 4 is my record player, just because I love music. And I couldn't really think. I'm not gonna put part of my soul into like a Beats pill or something. So my record player.
A Beats pill is also like a way to play music. I don't know if like the kids are gonna, you know, there's some of these references are gonna go over your head. Kids.
Again, who the hell? What kid is listening to this? Renee, what is wrong with you today? You're like,
no, I mean like the kids, like, you know, if you weren't born in the 90s, kids. I mean, like, you know, like people who are in college right now are like children to me.
What would you even call it? Like a speaker, like a Bluetooth speaker?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah, no, kids still know what speakers are. They don't know like the boombox, like the boombox, like on your shoulder thing. Yeah.
Number 5 is my glasses, just because I feel like they represent me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like trying to come up with stuff look. This time. Like if you turn into an animagus, like you would have glasses. I feel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Number 6 is my vape.
Kids don't need to know what that is.
yeah, kids don't need to know what that is, but that's definitely, you know, I got that thing on me all strapped on. So when I die, bury me with my vape, bro.
It's a bad influence.
Yeah. And number 7, a rubber duck, because I actually collect rubber ducks. I have some from college. I went to UCF, Central Florida. Go Knights, charge on, cut my veins. I bleed black and gold. And one of the traditions is Spirit Splash, where they throw rubber ducks in the fountain and we all rush in and try to get them during homecoming week. So ever since then, I've collected rubber ducks anywhere I go. So if there's like a claw machine with a rubber duck, I have to get it. People get me rubber ducks. So yeah, that's my other Horcrux.
Yeah,
so those are my 7. What about you?
Okay, you did better than me because I feel like I thought of like how it represents me, and then I'm not sure if I have like the objects, but you can help me with that. But anyway,
okay.
So I thought in no particular order, like my hometown, I feel like should like kind of represent me, and like I'm from the town where like the space center is and stuff like that. So I feel like like a piece of a shuttle or like a moon rock or something like that.
Wait a minute, Renee.
Where am I going to get that? I don't know.
That's what I'm literally like. Was that not the point that it has to be an everyday object?
I mean,
a moon rock? A moon rock? Where are you going to hide that? In a museum?
Well, I thought we were thinking about where we're hiding.
What do you mean?
It's going to stay at the Kennedy Space
Okay, so yours
Museum.
are like just, but that's the thing. Horcruxes are supposed to be easily findable.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, to your argument, me growing up, growing up in that hometown, like everything was space themed. Like space wasn't like people get so excited about shuttle launches, and I've seen so many shuttle launches. It's like kind of not exciting to me. And I know
I
that
was
sounds
literally about to say, how many of those do you actually like watch?
yeah, like now I'm not really excited. I'm not gonna like go out of my way to watch them because I could like see everyone from my backyard. Like it was so like normal, and I was so conditioned to that being normal that like until I moved away, I didn't realize like how crazy that was, or like it didn't really hit me. So like you're like, oh, these objects are so crazy. Like I've like touched shuttles, I've been around them, you know, like I don't know. So I don't, like maybe it doesn't seem as unattainable to me.
Okay. Well, you could have also gone like a NASA keychain, you know.
Okay, sure. A NASA keychain, a NASA t-shirt that you got from Walmart.
Yeah.
To please Jess.
We can go with moon rock if that's really what you
want. The next thing, obviously like Harry Potter, something Harry Potter related. Like I was thinking like you, maybe like a first edition book or just like the first book. Because it's just sentimental and like not just the podcast. Like I read it growing up with my family and stuff, so I have a lot of like good memories of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Similar to your rubber duck thing, like I feel sentimental about my college, and that's like my Hogwarts. So I feel like I would need something to represent my college, and I wasn't sure like what to pick. I was like maybe like a football signed by Jameis Winston himself. I don't know.
You could do like a spear, I guess.
Yeah, like a lit spear. I don't know. Then like being a mom, obviously like something that represents like, you know, my kids.
Yeah, I go.
You know that, yeah. I don't want to like. I'm not gonna talk too much about my kids publicly, but yeah, something with that. And then I thought like you, like my dog or something. Like with, you know, dogs, like because I grew up with dogs.
No.
Yeah, but anyone who's ever been on the phone with me hears me shouting at my dog. And then my last one was, I don't know, this was like, I feel like I have all these hobbies, like reading. I recently been getting back into sewing. I like thrifting. I've done clay jewelry, like all the like crafty things. So I don't know, something with like craftiness I feel like has always been something I've enjoyed. So I don't know how to like capture that.
Or a needle or something. I didn't know you could sew.
Yeah, I took sewing in like high school or middle school. I can't even remember. And my mom had a sewing machine.
I was about to say, do you have a sewing machine or just like hand sewing?
I just recently got a sewing machine. Oh. I literally haven't touched one in like over a decade, but now I'm like addicted to it, and I'm like trying to make a bunch of stuff.
That's so cool because now you can make your Halloween costumes. You can make like a lot of Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah, that's actually true. I've been making so far. I've just been making like simple projects. Like an easy one is like drawstring or like elastic like shorts. I've been making like little toddler shorts. So
that's cute.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, anyone wants to send me like some free sewing patterns, throw them my way. I'll try to sew it. That concludes, I think, our question of the week. And Jess, I think you have a surprise for me now.
Yes. So if you go in the shared drive, I added some photos.
Okay.
So I was out and about on Saturday, at the bars. And so we get out of Uber. I immediately walk into a group of Dementors. So I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? And I'm like, you know, in going out clothes. Like I'm in, I don't want to say hoochie mama clothes, but I'm looking good, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do I look like this? And there's people out here dressed like Dementors. There were people all walking around and finally we start walking. There's people in Hogwarts robes. There is like a McGonagall. There's like a Dumbledore. It was a wizard bar crawl and had no idea what was happening. So I walked right into a wizard bar crawl and it was the funnest thing ever because then every bar we went to after that had like Harry Potter people. So one of the pictures I put, the first one is the wizard bar crawl like menu. So I thought it was cute because they had like special drinks at each bar. I'm sad I like didn't know about this. I would have like participated like beforehand,
Yeah.
you know, like dressed up. But like this bar had like special things like firebolt shot, potion of healing, the ponderous orb, mana potion. So it's like it was really cool because like all the bars had themed drinks. So I was like, you know, I was a little tipsy and I was like, oh my god, Renee will love this. So I was like taking pictures. And then there's a video. Let me know, can you play the video?
So the video is like of someone dancing.
Yes. And it was just funny because it's literally like this girl in like Ravenclaw school outfit, and then she's like twerking on a guy in a Slytherin thing, and it's like to this song that's like back that ass up, back that, and it was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. So I like recorded it for you.
Thank you for recording that for me.
Yeah. And so then the last picture, so it has me in it because when I went up to this group of people, I was like, please, I need to take a picture of you. We'll mention you on the podcast. So there's this group that came, it was 4 of them. So I think this is, I didn't ask a clarifying question because again, tipsy. But the guy in the back behind me, you see the picture?
I'm looking at it.
So the guy in the back behind me, he was kind of dressed like Slytherin. So I think these are the like supposed to represent the 4 houses. So he seemed like Salazar Slytherin. The girl right next to me, I think that's supposed to be Gryffindor, like some representation of Gryffindor. I don't really know. But then clearly there's like a badger in the back for Hufflepuff. And then this guy on the right is like Professor Sprout or something. I really hope that is what they're doing because I went up to this group and I said, hey, I'm on a Harry Potter podcast. Can I get a picture of y'all? Because I love your themed outfit. And they were like, yeah, you can get a picture only if you get in the picture. So that's why I'm in this selfie. But I also got the person's Instagram. So shout out at 5air on Instagram. If we decide to cut this for like socials, we'll go ahead and tag you. So thanks to that group for letting me take a picture with them. And I really apologize if this wasn't what you were going for.
I think
you can
it is.
see,
it looks like it. I mean, then clearly he's got like all the flowers and looks like maybe a potion or something.
Yeah, the only thing that I didn't get is like the girl with the beard. So I'm like, maybe she's trying to be Godric Gryffindor. I don't really know, but basically I just thought that they were all themed and, you know, it seems like that's the houses and that's what they were going for.
Yeah, that is super cool.
That was my surprise. I ran into a Wizarding bar crawl and I thought it was so funny.
That is crazy that you got off the Uber and it's like, bam, Dementor.
Dementor. That was like my first thought. Dementor.
It's literally like the scene in I just was re-listening to the scene in book 7 where Harry, Ron, and Hermione go back to Hogwarts and they like land in Hogsmeade and immediately like alarms go off and then they're setting Dementors and everything like that. Yeah. That was your experience.
Exactly. So it was funny. I liked that. I walked right into that.
Okay, so before we talk about like what's actually happening in the scene, just pre-scene for context. So Harry wins Felix Felicis Liquid Luck in potions class. So he has that and he's had it for a while. Dumbledore asks Harry to collect a memory from Slughorn. Harry doesn't really know like exactly the contents of it, but he knows that he needs to get some information from Slughorn. And then he's kind of made like multiple, what I would say like kind of half-assed attempts to like get him to just give him the memory. And then with some pushing from Hermione and Ron, he decides that he's just going to take Liquid Luck to quote unquote like tweak the circumstances and then try to go get the memory. So that's like bringing us to speed where we are in context of the book. So now it's the day. It's after sunset. They like strategically wait. So they're like waiting after dinner for Slughorn to go back to his office. And so this is like twilight-ish time. Harry takes a mouthful of the potion, which is supposedly enough for like 2 to 3 hours, which I'm like, how are you like measuring this? Right?
Yeah. You count it.
Yeah. You're like, it doesn't seem very like scientific at all. He's just like, oh, a mouthful. Like,
have you seen the It's Always Sunny episode where they're trying to sell gas?
Oh yeah, and they're like
And
drinking. He's
he's
like
like,
drinking
oh,
it.
what do you mean? How have you been measuring? Oh, you count it. How do you count? You do it. You do it. I can't because I can't talk to Charlie because he like isn't making sense and he's like swallowing all this gasoline. So that's
Yes,
why that count it joke was like,
exactly. That's Harry. I'm not sure how he's counting it, but supposedly his bottle has 12 hours of luck total, and he's trying to get like 2 or 3 hours just for this
yeah.
little excursion.
I guess like one or two sips.
I don't know. But anyway, so he takes it, and it's Harry, Ron, and Hermione alone in the like boys' dormitory. And they ask him immediately, like, how do you feel? And he describes it. I love how, like, also this liquid luck is described because it feels like it's luck, right? Like, it's not like power or, like getting all these extra abilities. It's just like feeling a little bit more like confident, like he's like,
Mm-hmm.
he describes it as a sense of infinite opportunity. Like, he could do anything at all. And procuring the memory all of a sudden just seems like super easy.
Mm-hmm.
And also later, these are other things that kind of happen later, but I'll talk about them now just when we're talking about like the effects. The potion seems to, which I feel like the movie can't really show us this, but like I like how the book describes it. It seems to illuminate a few steps of the path at a time. So like Harry doesn't really know like how he's going to get to the end goal of getting the memory, but it's like, oh, I know I need to do X, Y, and Z, and like I know that I need to like do these couple things, and it will like get me to where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
He also seems like, another thing about this potion is he seems to be kind of like in a chipper mood, and it seems like he kind of like appreciates the small things. Like he talks about when he goes outside, he's like, the smell of the grass or like just being outside. Like it seems like it just kind of makes your day better.
Yeah, I actually did. I'm glad you put that in there because I laughed at that part because it's like he walks out the castle doors and he goes, which I guess Filch just forgot to lock today. Because you keep in mind, like this is a time where there's like needs to be extreme security at the castle.
Yeah.
So and then like Harry's really not supposed to be out of bed and at this time or out of the castle at this time. So Filch has been locking the doors. And just because Harry takes liquid luck, he maybe like forgot to lock the doors. So it's just funny because Harry's like, oh, I guess the doors were not locked today. And he
How
steps out, and before he starts walking, he like takes a deep breath. He's like, the like fresh air. And then he starts on his little stroll, and that just like killed me. And then he was saying that he was gonna go straight to Hagrid's, but then he had the thought that, oh, it'd be nice to go walk by the vegetable patch. And then of course that's where Slughorn is with Professor Sprout. So that's exactly, his, oh, it would be nice to do this. That's the liquid luck actually working and telling him, oh, go over there. That's seems sort of me. Yeah.
Exactly. He's like getting a feeling like, oh, it would be nice to do this. And he's just kind of like going with the feeling. He describes it as like Felix, like a personified Felix, like nudging
Felix
him.
knows what I'm doing. Yeah.
But yeah, we could talk a little bit about Felix Felicis now too. I did look up some of the like history behind it if you want to hear.
Yeah.
So Felix Felicis, or liquid luck, it's also described. It's described as bottled good fortune. It's the color of molten gold, and when you see the potion, apparently like large drops will kind of like leap out of the potion like goldfish, just like jumping out, but it never spills. And so even like the potion itself is like lucky. The drinker of the potion is lucky in all of their endeavors, supposedly. And it was invented by someone named Zygmunt Budge, which we never meet, but just for reference, in the 16th century. And it was deemed his greatest accomplishment ever, like his crowning achievement in his career.
That's
obviously
crazy that his name is not Felix. I thought that's what it would be.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
The important thing to note is excessive consumption is highly toxic and can cause extreme recklessness. And the potion doesn't like give you extra powers. So it's not going to help you like overcome powerful enchantments or like you know, it's not like Harry can just take this and then go take on Voldemort. Like, it's not gonna make him have some powers that he doesn't have. It's just like a little bit of luck. I think people think of this potion as like, oh, why don't they just make this all the time? Why don't they just drink this every day and do everything? Because they'll just like, everything will be perfect. But it's like not exactly that. It's like, it's luck. It's not like all power, you know?
Yeah. Is it illegal? Or is it like one of those potions that's like you're not supposed to make it at home? It's like you can get prescribed it or something. Because I think I can't remember what Slughorn was saying during his class, but I'm like, if everybody could make this and do it, I feel like they would, but it might be one of those like banned potions or like restricted potions or something.
It is banned from all competitive events except for potion making tournaments, obviously. But like, so you can't like, it's illegal to be taking this and then like go compete as like a pro Quidditch player or something. Anyone can technically make it, but it's super hard to make. So it takes 6 months to brew, and it's apparently just super tricky to make, and it's very rarely made by wizards. So like, this is a testament that either Slughorn went and purchased this, or he is a really, really good potion maker that he was able to make this. Like, it's not like, you know, like probably Snape and Slughorn and like maybe Dumbledore can make this potion, but like, you know, Hermione's not like making this in a bathroom toilet.
Yeah.
And like a good example though, to talk about like how it doesn't work on everything, is the rest of this potion later in this book gets used by Ginny, Ron, and Hermione. So Harry gives it to them when he goes off on his mission with Dumbledore and says, like, I think Malfoy's up to something, like, you guys take this. And that's when, like, the Death Eaters break into the castle. But, like, even though they took that, and they got lucky, like, that they weren't killed, but, like, Malfoy uses the Pruvian instant darkness powder, and he's able to get by them. So, like, I think that's just a good example of how, like, it's not like everything in your life goes perfectly if you take this potion, or you can't, like, overcome, like, super powerful enchantments, right?
I actually didn't remember that. So Harry gave them the potion and they all drank it?
Yeah. That's, like, towards the end of this book. That's, like, when at the same time when Harry and Dumbledore go off to the cave and then come back, that's when, like, the DA and the Order of the Phoenix, they're all, like, fighting the Death Eaters that get in the castle. And, like, I think Ginny, Ron, and Hermione are the three that like split it between them and take it. I don't know if Luna and Neville got it too, but
I need to go back and reread that.
Yeah, and then the recipe for this potion, according to the Harry Potter wiki, is you add an ashwinder egg to a cauldron, then horseradish and heat, juice a squill bulb, which I don't even know what that is, add to the cauldron and stir vigorously, chop up anemone-like growth from the back of a murtlap and add to the mixture to heat, then a dash of tincture and thyme, I think is how you say it, stir slowly, grind up alchemy eggshell and add to the mixture, stir slowly, heat the cauldron, add a sprinkle of powdered common rue, stir vigorously, and then heat the cauldron one last time, and then you wave your wand over the potion in a figure 8 and say the incantation Felix Sempra. And I think, like, and then I guess it's gotta like brew for 6 months. So I don't know how like rare these items are too. Like, it might be hard to source this to make it in the first place.
It's funny because some of those I think are in the video game, like Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, and I was thinking some of the like alchemy egg, I think that's like from like Fantastic Beasts and stuff. But and then to your point about the Felix thing, so Felix is a Latin word for like happy or lucky, and felicis is derived from that same word, which means luck. So it's like lucky luck or luck's luck or luck of luck is like what it means. Even though I know in the like Harry kind of refers to it like Felix is a person.
Yeah, I guess that's why I was confused. That's interesting. It's good lore.
Yeah. And then
is this something J.K. Rowling made up and put on her website?
All of her like words are, I know, like everyone's name has a meaning, and she uses like a lot of like roots of words to mean things that like mean something for the character. I'm sure she intentionally named it like Lucky Luck or Liquid Luck or whatever. I did find something that looked really cool. Here, I'll share a picture with you. This is what it looks like. Someone came up with like a cocktail like that's Liquid Luck, and if you can kind of see, it's like glittery swirl kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I thought that looked cool. I'll share the link for that recipe on our Instagram, but it's made with honey mead, or you could substitute Prosecco or apple cider, bourbon, cinnamon sticks, granulated sugar, water, orange liqueur, orange bitters, and some edible glitter.
My God, it's just as difficult as the
I know,
freaking potion. Do you have to brew it for 6 months and then wave my wand over the top?
Yeah. There's a lot of ingredients, but it sounded really good.
Drunken.
Bourbon and mead and cinnamon with like some orange and like, edible glitter for the look. Like, sounds pretty good.
Sounds like Christmas.
Yeah, and the maker said you can like substitute apple cider for the mead too, so I feel like that would make it even like better tasting. But yeah, so I'll share that recipe on our Instagram. And then just while I'm sharing recipes, I literally saw this like 10 minutes before we started recording. But random other Harry Potter recipe, apparently people that are going to the theme parks, you know how you can get butterbeer at the theme parks, or you can even get them like at Universal City Walk. You don't have to go in the park, which I love that butterbeer, right? Like, do you like the frozen better or the liquid?
It's funny. I think I like the liquid better, but when it's hot, I get the frozen. But I do like the taste of the liquid better.
Yeah, I think I agree. And sometimes when it's really cold, which is like that one random day in January, they might have like the hot version. But I've been seeing that people, apparently they go to Starbucks, get 2 shots of espresso, and then like in a big cup, and then pour the butterbeer into it to make it like a coffee mixed drink, which actually sounds pretty good too, right?
Yeah. That's cool.
So anyway, maybe try that. But that concludes my recipes for this episode. Should we go back into, where did we leave off in this scene? Yeah. Harry just took Felix Felicis.
Okay, so after Harry takes the Liquid Luck, he immediately decides to go to Hagrid's. Hermione and Ron are alarmed. So they're kind of like, as soon as he takes the potion, Hermione's kind of like, or he says, I'm going to go to Hagrid's, because they had gotten, kind of backing up, Harry had gotten an invite to bury Aragog, because this is when Hagrid's big spider in the woods died. We, of course, met the spider in Chamber of Secrets. So Aragog has passed. Hagrid had written a note to, I think, Harry, Ron, and Hermione saying, would love it if you can come down. But I know you would, you're risking getting in trouble because you're not supposed to leave the castle. But, I could really use some comfort. And if I remember correctly, it's actually sad because whenever they're reading this note from Hagrid, they can just see huge blotches of like tear stains on the writing. So you could tell he was like crying when he's writing it to ask them to come to the funeral. Yes. So, that was so sad. But so that is why Harry is going to Hagrid's. It's not just paying a visit. It was to help bury Aragog. Am I saying the name right?
That's how I say it, I think. Aragog.
Okay, because I get so in my head about, you remember the dragon Aragon?
like the books you're talking about?
Yeah, there's a movie Aragon.
Okay. With it's like it's like EAA or ERAGON or something, right?
Yeah. It looks like exactly. So it's just funny because I always I'm like, Aragog is the spider.
Well, also when I was typing this to prep for this pod, like one time I typed it and my thing like was trying to autocorrect to Aragorn, which I'm like,
that's from Lord of the Rings?
Yes, which is from Lord of the Rings. So I'm like, is this all from the same? I don't know what this name even means. Is this like from the same root to look up the
Latin root? Yeah, because that is now a man, a very sexy man, and it is a dinosaur, or not a dinosaur, lol, a dragon, and a spider. So anything that you can correlate with those 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there might be some connection there. I wouldn't put it past J.K. Rowling to like reference other books, but anyway, continuing on.
Yeah. Well, so Hermione's like, well, what do you mean you're going to Hagrid's? You're supposed to go get, the memory from Slughorn. So it's just funny because, her and Ron at one point had said, like, are you sure he didn't take Essence of Insanity or something like that? Yes. So they're both very alarmed and concerned about Harry, and Harry just kind of tells them, don't worry, Felix knows what I'm doing. So the trio goes downstairs from the boys' dormitories. Harry is covered with the invisibility cloak. So when they get down to the bottom, Lavender is in the common room and only sees Ron and Hermione exiting. So she confronts Ron, like, what were you doing up there? And as that's happening, Harry's like, well, not my problem. And he slips through the portrait hole. As he's slipping through the portrait hole, it's just so funny because I forgot about all of the other side effects of him taking this potion. Mm-hmm. It literally made Ginny and Dean break up because so as he's going through the portrait hole, he brushes Ginny's arm on accident. And again, he's under the invisibility cloak. And Ginny gets so mad at Dean because I guess Dean always tries to help her through the portrait hole. And she gets really irritated and she just flips out on Dean and goes, please stop doing that. You always try to do that. And Dean got really irritated with her because of course he wasn't the one to touch her. So they start arguing as well. So it's just funny because Harry, the 2 seconds that he's downstairs, has now caused 2 couples to fight. And both of those couples break up as a result of this. So it's just funny because it's Harry's luck, in the sense that like obviously he wants Ginny to be single. But I think he just also didn't like Lavender and Ron, so he got that relationship ended as well.
Yes, I literally wrote in my notes, in the first 30 seconds of taking this potion, he has broken up 2 different relationships. Yeah. Just like by happenstance of like walking through the common room.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
And then also after he gets out, he meets no one along the way. Like he doesn't have to avoid Peeves or like, run into some awkward situation or anything. He like just going through the castle, no one's around. Like we said earlier, Filch forgot to lock the door. So it's like...
And this is supposed to be like high security. So like, why is there no one around?
Yes, as a reminder, like at this point in the book series, it's like people are patrolling the corridors. They have like aurors stationed at Hogwarts. Like it's very high security. So this is like crazy that he doesn't run into anyone. And then like we talked about earlier, he's like, once he gets outside, he decides, oh, you know what? It'll be nice to do a stroll by the vegetable patch. So he like takes the long way to Hagrid's. And of course finds Professor Slughorn talking to Professor Sprout, which I guess they're like by the greenhouses or whatever. And Professor Slughorn's gathering potions and ingredients for his class. And, he's talking to Sprout a little bit and then Sprout walks away.
You know I did think it was kind of funny what they did in the movie for this scene. So in the books, he's talking to Professor Sprout. It's a totally normal interaction. Professor Sprout had gathered these potion ingredients for him at like midnight or whatever. So he had asked her to do that. And she gave it willingly, that sort of thing. So what I think is super funny in the movies is that he's trying to like steal these little leaves, and because they go for 10 a galleon on like the black market or something. So it's just funny. I like how they added that little detail in the movie because it is so something Slughorn would do, is like sneak and like clip some things to like sell them, which is what he ends up doing with unicorn hair that Hagrid gives him later. So I just think it's funny that they kind of worked that into the movies in a different form.
Yeah, I was going to talk about this later. We could like talk about it when we get to some of these, but like Slughorn, it's weird because in the movie they have him sneakily doing this in the greenhouse when in the books Professor Sprout knows and he's not sneaking around at all. But then they flip-flop it because in the movies later when he goes to Aragog's funeral, he says to Hagrid, hey, do you mind if I collect some of the venom? It's really valuable. And Hagrid's like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like he's not doing anything with it. But then in the book, he doesn't say anything to Hagrid and he kind of like sneakily goes and gets some.
Yeah. So
like, I don't know. He's collecting a lot of things over the course of this night. Professor Slughorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Harry sees Slughorn. Once Sprout is gone, he decides to reveal himself. So he takes off the invisibility cloak, and like strikes up a conversation with Slughorn. So they strike up a conversation, and Harry like is like kind of guided by Felix Felicis. He kind of like casually mentions that he's going to Hagrid's funeral for Aragog. Like he somehow knows that he needs to be honest in this moment with him. So he says that he's going to Hagrid's for a funeral for the spider, and Slughorn seems interested because he talks about like the venoms very valuable, and you can barely ever get them from Acromantula because obviously they're very dangerous and stuff. So Harry's like, "Oh, I'm sure you could come," and like does it all casual, like. And so Slughorn gets excited about that, and he agrees to go, but he leaves and goes and like gets some bottles and like changes into funeral attire and kind of like preps himself, and then he says I'll meet him down at Hagrid's later. So Harry goes and meets Hagrid. Hagrid is like sobbing, and he also, oh, I forgot to look this up, but Hagrid's like, he says Hagrid makes a black armband out of a rag, like dipped in boot polish. What is the like significance of like a black armband?
Did it say armband? Because I remember when I listened to this scene, I thought that's what he was like wiping his nose with. It was just like a hanky. Like he was like Harry had noticed like, oh, he went to blow his nose or wipe his face, but he was getting black stuff all over his face because it was a boot polish rag.
Oh,
That's what I remember. But maybe I don't know. I don't remember the armband part.
But why would he dip it in boot polish to like wipe his face?
Well, that's what I think. He was just using an old rag and it had boot polish on it. So that's why he was just using whatever he had to wipe his face or like, blow his nose and stuff. Okay. But it could be wrong. I could be wrong. We could re-listen to that.
I was just trying to look up like significance of a black armband. Apparently, a black armband, or also called a mourning band, like as in MOURNING, is a traditional symbol worn to signify mourning or pay respect to the deceased.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Kind of like how you wear black, like, I mean, back in like the 1800s when your husband or someone died in your family, you have a mourning period and you're supposed to wear black for 2 months.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think like you see them on, like when I'm looking this up, I think you see them for like sports teams. Sometimes we'll do it like
in memoriam.
Yeah, if someone like, passed away. So anyway, so Harry and Hagrid are having this conversation. Harry tells Hagrid that Slughorn's going to come, and then Slughorn arrives at the cabin, and they go back out like beyond the pumpkin patch, and they see like Aragog's body, and there's a big pile of dirt. Like clearly, like there's a pre-dug like grave to put his like ginormous body in. And I wanted to ask you, like, do you think that Hagrid manually dug this grave like later Harry does for Dobby? Like hand, dug it with a shovel?
Well, yeah, he couldn't use magic. So I think he could use magic, but like with his umbrella, he's like banned from using magic. So I think he definitely probably dug it by hand. I mean, it's a 10-foot grave, but he's like a 7-foot man or an 8-foot man. So it's kind of like a 6-foot grave to him,
Yeah, but still, digging a 6-foot grave is like a really impressive feat. Like,
yeah, Hagrid would definitely do that, and he's like used to a lot of manual labor, and he was probably crying the whole time, and it was his way of like being like making sure, kind of exactly like how Harry felt about Dobby, where he was like, I want to do it by hand, I don't want to use magic.
Yeah,
it's like part of the process of laying them to rest.
Yeah, well, I just think we should give Hagrid his props here because that's like very impressive.
I wonder how long it took him.
10-foot grave. I feel like this would take days. Like,
yeah,
this is like, I mean, it's a lot, like, to dig that up. But anyway, so Slughorn kind of like pretends to inspect the body and discreetly collects some venom under the pretense of like looking at the body and seeing him. And I know I mentioned earlier that the movie changed this. I don't know why Slughorn didn't just like ask him for the venom. Like, I feel like Hagrid would be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Well, I think in the movie it's kind of comedic relief because then Hagrid goes, "Well, it wouldn't do him much good now, would it? Like for you to like, it doesn't matter now, basically." So I think maybe just because Hagrid was like crying during the scene, maybe Slughorn in the books is kind of trying to, you know, be more empathetic, I guess, to the situation. So,
Yeah. Also, I think the books make it more clear that Slughorn and Hagrid like don't really know each other. Like
mhm,
they're kind of, like Slughorn wasn't working at the time when Hagrid would have been there. I think he's like too like before his time.
mhm. Yeah, like the
Um
only time they know each other is like as teachers now. So he's maybe met him a few times at like faculty meetings or something.
yeah, like he doesn't like they're basically strangers.
Mhm.
So I think he like doesn't know him well enough to like feel comfortable asking and stuff. Then Hagrid like kind of rolls Aragog into the grave, and is Slughorn gives a eulogy, and uses his wand to like put the dirt over it. But I thought he had actually like a good eulogy, and I was like kind of impressed, especially with him making this up on the spot.
Yes. Okay, sorry. One thing I forgot to mention. So there was one part in the book that whenever I think Hagrid had said something like, "Oh, Slughorn, really good of you to come. I know Aragog would have appreciated it." And then Harry, in his mind, it was like Harry thought privately that what Aragog would have liked the most about Slughorn is the ample amount of flesh he provided.
Yes. Harry this whole time is like, let's just remember Aragog would like to eat us all and tried to
Yeah.
eat Ron and I like a couple years ago.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny. Like the little, I just love, that's like one of the best parts to me about Harry Potter is all the inner dialogue that we get from Harry.
Yeah.
It's like all of these funny little quips and like little connections that do a lot of callbacks. Like I love that part of it.
Yeah. So Slughorn's eulogy is farewell, Aragog, king of arachnids, whose long and faithful friendship those who knew you won't forget. Though your body will decay, your spirit lingers on in the quiet, web-spun places of your forest home. May your many-eyed descendants ever flourish, and your human friends find solace for the loss they have sustained. Like, it's
It's a
pretty
very good,
good.
yeah, it's very good for off the dome, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, were you in your office, like, getting the bottles, like, being like, oh, I gotta prep this in case, like, I get asked?
Yeah.
So they bury the spider, and then the three of them go back into Hagrid's cabin. Slughorn had brought, like, some wine, and he pours it for all of them. And this got me thinking, too, like, Harry is 16 years old. Like, what's the drinking age for wizards? Like, why are people, like, offering him alcohol?
Yeah, it's probably 17, just like when they can apparate, when the curse breaks. It's probably that. But I mean, they drink butterbeer, so and that's technically alcohol.
Yeah, but I think the content is so low. But like, what's the
Yeah.
drinking age in like England or Scot? I guess they're in Scotland.
It's 18.
It's 18, or is it? I
Mhm.
thought it was like 15. Or am I thinking of like Germany?
Well, I only know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, is it 15 somewhere?
I think the drinking age is a lot lower in other countries, like in Europe.
Age 16 for beer and wine. So then I guess hard liquor is 18 in most countries. So countries like Germany, Austria, Belgium, and Switzerland allow the purchase and consumption of fermented alcoholic beverages like beer and wine at age 16 while restricting distilled spirits until age 18.
Okay, so yeah, so still like crazy. Like in the for people that are not in the United States, our drinking age is 21, which so like 16 to 21, I feel like is a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's drinking wine. He's 16. That's like that would be like acceptable in Muggle England. So like wizarding kind of tracks with that, I guess. But Harry decides not to drink because his Felix Felicis tells him not to. So he lets the others drink, and it's kind of like they're just talking. Like Hagrid talks about Aragog and having him as an egg. Slughorn quickly clocks that there's like just unicorn hair in the cabin. And this is what you mentioned earlier. And so Hagrid's like, oh yeah, I use it for like binding things, whatever. And Slughorn's like, that's like 10 galleons of hair or whatever the amount.
Yeah.
So then he starts like scoping out the cabin. He starts like looking around the cabin with real interest now. Like, what other valuables are in here?
Yeah.
And they're just like basically like I don't know if hours are passing by, but they're drinking. Slughorn and Hagrid are just talking about Hagrid's work, you know, like him working with the Fantastic Beasts, yada yada. And you know, Slughorn seems interested, and they're just like drinking and talking. And Harry also sneakily is like refilling their wine to make sure that they're like, you know, getting drunker.
Yeah. What's funny, I actually thought cuz it was like it said since he's on Liquid Luck, Harry had mentioned like, "Oh, you know, normally he hadn't quite gotten the trick of the refilling charm yet." But then he was like, "Oh, under the influence of Felix Felicis, it seemed almost easy." And he was like, there was no question about it. He was going to be able to refill the wine. And he does. So my question about this is, I mean, I knew the refilling thing, like Aquamente is like water, but it's like, what are they using? Like, is a refilling charm like refills the glass to like what was in it before? If that's the case, why don't everybody just like, oh, I'm gonna get one beer at this place and use the refilling charm all the time?
Well, I think it's in book 7. Hermione says you can't like things like food. You can't just like create out of thin air. So I think it's coming
Like
from somewhere.
transporting it, yeah. So it's like coming
Yeah.
from the jug that's there, maybe.
Yeah, like
And
he's
it's like,
taking it from the jug that's there, or from another wine bottle that's in the cabin, or something like that.
okay, yeah, that would make sense
Yeah, like he's
because
not
there's
like
like,
just creating like wine
yeah,
from like thin
yeah.
air.
He
And
has risen.
yeah, but also like I feel like people are gonna say like, oh, Harry never pulled off this charm before, so like this like Felix Felicis gave him extra powers. First of all, he's done the charm before. What he says is he's never done it without like non-verbally.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think it's like he could always have done this. He just hasn't pulled it off yet. It's like in book 4 when he struggles with doing like Accio and like summoning things. He struggles with it in class, and then he practices and gets more confidence and he can do it. Like, it's not like he just got this super advanced magic. Like, I think he could always do it. He just needed to like have the confidence and try
It's like
it
a
the right way.
confidence, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's it. I feel like a lot of the stuff that he learns, it's like, I don't know, when he's on the moment or like actually doing something that matters, I feel like it's like he's like, okay, it's this or nothing. So he tries it and it works all the time. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that way when like they're trying new spells and stuff like that, it's like when you're getting chased by Dementors, you really don't have room for error. So like all of those spells are going to come off correctly. But it's like if you're just in class, you're kind of like half-assing a defense spell. You know, it might not work every time.
Yeah, you might not be like totally focused, you know.
Mm-hmm. Adrenaline. I wonder if like adrenaline and like cortisol levels and like all that stuff has anything to do with magic.
I 100%
like if I'm
think
stressed
it
or anxious,
does, yeah.
do you think it affects how my magic comes off?
Yeah, I would think so.
Oh, interesting.
So they're definitely like getting more drunk, Slughorn and Hagrid, and it says Hagrid is on his 14th bucket of wine. What is Hagrid's drinking limit? I have no idea.
Yeah, that was funny.
But now they're getting to this like the drunken point where you're like making toasts, right? Like they're like making toast to Hogwarts, to Dumbledore, to Elfmaid wine, like, and then they get to Harry. They're gonna make a toast for Harry. And I like that. I think it was Slughorn that says Perry Otter, the chosen boy.
I think it's funny. Hagrid literally like, because they had mentioned the unicorn hair earlier, and then as they're talking, he just literally gives him the unicorn hair, and then Slughorn's like hugging him and some stuff.
Yes, this is so well written as like a drunken experience. Like like two people who are essentially strangers, they get to talking.
Yeah. It reminds me of the drunk girls in the bathroom, and it's like, here's this lip gloss.
Yes. If you've ever been a drunk girl in a bar bathroom, there's the group of girls, of strangers that all just happen to be in the bathroom at the same time at a bar, are like the strongest alliance you'll ever find. Like, this
yeah,
is like,
literally.
this is like the Lord of the Rings 9 that form at Rivendell, like, to go, like, destroy the ring.
I'm dead.
You all of a sudden, like, just, you're like best friends and you'll do anything for that person, and you're like, one girl's crying in a stall because of some boy and everyone's comforting them, and someone needs lip gloss, and two girls are, I literally read like I think it was like on Instagram or something, two girls found each other in the bar. They both had the same pair of jeans, but one was too loose, one was too fitted, and they went to the bathroom, switched the jeans, and just kept each other's jeans and lived on the rest of their
That's so funny.
So this is Hagrid and Slughorn right now. There are girls in the bar bathroom. Anyway, so he gives them the unicorn hair. They're like, now they're like singing. They're singing the song Odo the Hero about this like wizard. And then they're getting kind of like, it's getting kind of sad. Like, I think the song is kind of sad. And then they're like getting into like the sad drunken like phase. And Hagrid's like talking about like only the good die young, like his dad and Harry's parents, and how much he like cared about Harry's parents. And then Hagrid falls asleep. And
I'm surprised you didn't have anything on Odo the Hero. I was waiting for you to.
No, I'm not gonna sing for you. I didn't even write down the lyrics, but if you want them, you can go back in the book. But yeah, so Hagrid falls asleep, but like Slughorn's kind of taking the conversation about like Harry's parents' deaths, and it gets into like, he's kind of like asking him like, oh, Harry, do you like remember or whatever? And Harry kind of talks about it, and this is like, Harry's talking about it in like detail and really like traumatizing poor Slughorn, who like taught Lily and knew Lily and like really cared about her. And then Harry like kind of uses this to make his appeal to Slughorn. So he says, like, which I think was like a very strong case. He says, she gave me her life, but you won't give me a memory. Mm-hmm. And then knowing that Slughorn is going to like, he's like blackout drunk, is going to forget this later, he says, I am the chosen one. I have to kill him and I need that memory. And after like some of this coaxing, Slughorn finally like gives in and gives Harry the memory.
Mm-hmm. Mission accomplished.
Slughorn falls asleep and Harry's like, all right, gotta go. Goes back to the Gryffindor Tower. And it's funny because he like is noticing the potion wearing off. Like, he nearly runs into Peeves, and then by the time he gets to the fat lady, she's like in a mood and doesn't want to let him in. And you know, you're like getting the little signs that like clearly the liquid luck is over now.
Yeah.
And we'll end it there. He like goes to Dumbledore and stuff. You said you were like reading on, getting hooked when you were like listening to this.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I took notes and I'm like, wait, this isn't even part of the scene. So yeah, we're done with the scene.
Yeah, we'll have to get into like the next, because that like gets into the whole like more stuff about Harry and Dumbledore's meeting, which goes down in a totally different scene. So we'll end it here. But yeah, but let's do our discussion. So who was your hero of the scene, or villain, or both, if you had them?
I'd say the hero of the scene is Felix Felicis. Like, I'm gonna say that because it was because of him that Harry gets this memory. He has, you know, easy luck getting down there. He's able to bury Aragog for his friend Hagrid, you know, and he's just successful in his mission. So I'd say, you know, obviously you would say Harry because he's the one doing it all, but I'd say Felix Felicis is the one who made it possible.
Well, yeah, and also I think Hermione was like the big proponent for him using it, because Harry's like trying to save it to like do something with Ginny, or like has some sort of half-baked plan, and Hermione's like, no, like use it for this. This is important. Mm-hmm. Like, what's more important than this?
Yeah.
For this, I really, maybe I focus more on like the villain. I can't tell if Slughorn is a hero or a villain. I mean, maybe this is what makes him like a good character, is he's like, you know, one of the like gray area people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But part of me is kind of like, respect the hustle. Like, he's a teacher, he doesn't make a lot of money, and he's finding these creative ways to like source goods and to sell, like,
he's not like hurting anybody.
Yes, he's like, he's networking, he's like, he's sourcing these goods, like the unicorn hair is given freely. The venom, like, is taken from a dead spider, like, isn't gonna go anywhere. And I was also thinking too, like, for example, like the venom, that might be, he might sell that to someone and then it gets used as like a antidote if someone gets bitten by one of these spiders, right? Like you have to use the venom, or I'm thinking about like snake bites and stuff. Don't you, like, you need the venom to,
yeah, I think so, something like that,
to like make the antivenom. So I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a little shady, like how he goes about collecting goods. Like sometimes he's a little sneaky, like, and but then also we talked about, like, he gave a really good eulogy. He kind of like shows genuine interest afterwards in like the things that Hagrid's work. Like he's asking him questions about, you know, fantastic beast husbandry or whatever. So like, you know, I don't know. Yeah,
I'd say like oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think people like Slughorn isn't people's favorite character, but he's not like all bad.
I think he's just like, you know, wrong place, wrong time type of person. Because I would say like the only part to me that makes him a villain in this scene is, of course, like in the memory he is like, you know, telling about Horcruxes and he really shouldn't have done that. But that's the only really, I would say, that constitutes like the villain. I guess like holding out for as long as he did, like not sharing the memory. But you know, this is the scene where he finally gives into that. So I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily categorize him as a villain. I wouldn't also categorize him as a hero. So
yeah, he's kind of like
he's gray area
people. Yeah, very gray area. Like he fights in the Battle of Hogwarts. He, you know, he's definitely like not supporting Voldemort. You know, when
he's like a coward back. Though he's like a coward where it's like he's gonna run from the Death Eaters instead of confronting them and blah blah blah, you know, like when he's on the run in the beginning of the book, he's gonna take this job at Hogwarts so he can stop running. It's like everything for him, it's like his actions and everything he does serves a purpose, and usually that purpose is for himself. It's not for anybody else.
Yeah, he's definitely not like self-sacrificing. He's not brave. Like he's not a Gryffindor. He's definitely a Slytherin. Like he's like, I'm not gonna, like, he's like,
was
the
that
order
his house?
Yeah, he's the head of Slytherin once Snape becomes headmaster.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
And I think he was head of Slytherin like before when he was a teacher too.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, like he's not gonna like die just willy-nilly. Like, yeah. The real villain, I think, is Aragog's family, because they said they would kill Hagrid now that Aragog is dead.
Oh, and, like, yeah, I forgot about that.
And like,
and Hagrid was like, apparently that was the only thing keeping me safe in the forest.
Yes, they're crazy. So anyway, what was your favorite quote or moment from this scene?
I think it might have been the either the Harry thing that I mentioned earlier of him saying like Slughorn and the ample amount of flesh he provided, that, or Perry Otter, the chosen boy.
Perry Otter, the chosen boy.
I just like how they're like getting drunk after this funeral. It's just funny to me.
Yeah. My favorite part of this scene, I think, is the very, very beginning when Harry and Ron and Hermione are in the boys' dormitory and their initial reactions to him when he's like here's the quotes. It's more like the conversation, but so Harry goes, I've got a good feeling about going to Hagrid's. And Ron goes, you've got a good feeling about burying a giant spider? And then Harry goes, I feel like it's the place to be tonight. You know what I mean? And then Ron and Hermione together are like, no.
No. Yeah.
And then what you said earlier, when Hermione's like, when he's having this behavior, they're starting to be like, what's wrong with you? And so Hermione's looking at the potion. She's like, maybe you've got another bottle of, I don't know. And then Ron's like, essence of insanity.
Yeah.
And then Harry's just like, ha ha ha. And then they both look at him like, oh my God, he's literally gone insane.
Yeah. I know. A lot of the trios, like, they're, I don't know, you know, that's my favorite part of the books, is definitely like their all relationship too, and just how they joke with each other. I think one of my favorite scenes we've ever done was the Ron's birthday when he gets poisoned. There's so much in that chapter that is like funny and emotional, and like there's just so much to that. And it's just another good example of how the trio just kind of talks to each other, and they have these quick little like dialogue that is so funny, but then it's like, you read it and then you miss it, you like forget about it, but that's what makes the book so funny to me, and that makes the book so special.
There's so many funny moments, yeah.
Yeah.
And this moment is a great example where I feel like this is throughout the books. Ron and Hermione often are like together. It's like team Ron and Hermione, and then Harry's kind of like the third wheel, or like off on his own, or he's the one that's like having a different opinion than them. And
Yeah.
so I think it's so funny because sometimes they are like way before they get together, they're like, they are the married couple that's like, oh, we've got Harry here that's like doing this or whatever. Okay, so let's talk about comparing the movie scene to the book moment, because we do get this as a movie scene. Sometimes the movie gyps us of certain scenes, but the scene is, I would say, overall pretty similar to what we see in the book.
Yeah, pretty similar, I'd say too. I like the what I think about the most from the movie is Harry saying, "Don't forget the pinchers."
Yeah.
And I forget that's this scene. That's one of my brother's favorite things from the movies, like, is that
Yeah,
when
in the
Harry does
movies,
that.
the way he plays
He
it,
almost seems like more drunk.
he
Like
almost
in
seems
the
more
movies, it's
drunk.
like he's like drunk. Yeah, yeah. So that part, and then also the part where they're singing, and it's Hagrid and Slughorn, and they're like, "And his wand snapped in two, which was sad." It's just like they do this like production, and like, and then Hagrid just like slumps on the table after Harry like collapsed a bunch of times. So I just think it is like a like comedic relief, which I can appreciate sometimes. Obviously, we're not a huge fan of like how they changed the movies from the books, but this was a funny, like, I'm glad they embellished it a little bit with the things that they did.
Yeah. The one thing I will say that they didn't embellish was the actual Felix Felicis. So when I was watching this movie scene, when he actually takes the potion in the very beginning, it literally looks like clear drinking water.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a clear liquid. I literally looked this up. This movie had a budget of $250 million. I'm like, $250 million, and you couldn't make it look more interesting than water?
Literally, you couldn't make it gold.
You couldn't put some glitter in there. You couldn't like do some CGI. Like it literally like is clearly water. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, even like in movies like or shows or whatever, like you and I have watched like the Vampire Diaries, and they're constantly supposed to be drinking bourbon. They at least like give them sweet tea and like make it look like it's bourbon. Like I just feel like there was like no effort put into this potion.
Yeah. And also now I'm thinking about the movie, doesn't Harry take the whole thing?
I think he does. I don't think they ever bring it back again. Yeah. One of my favorite moments that I was like laughing at was in the movie when Harry runs into Slughorn when he's like stealing from Professor Sprout.
God, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Because Slughorn, he's just like, he runs into him and he just like goes to walk away, and then Slughorn turns and he goes, "Harry," and then Harry goes, "Sir."
Yeah. Like, okay. Well, it's funny because it's like kind of like a whisper too. He's like, "Harry," and he goes, "Sir."
Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And then like Slughorn's like, "You're not supposed to be out. Like I'm a teacher. You can't just like walk by me." And then Harry's like, "All right, well, come along then."
Yeah. Well, then by all means, come along, sir.
There's so much.
That's what I mean. He really does like sound drunk or something. Like, I don't know if Daniel Radcliffe took creative license there, or if they told him to like play it like that, but it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it was that their interaction there was so funny to me. And it did kind of remind me, because we get so many Harry sass moments in the books where he has these like comebacks or he does these things that we don't get in the movies. But then they added this random one. Like, I'm like, this is the Harry sass that we're missing.
This is literally, that Harry is like pretty much the Harry that we get all the time in the books.
Exactly. Like, Harry is so sassy in the books.
Yeah. He's so funny.
The other notable change from the movie is Slughorn's story about the goldfish. So this wasn't in the books at all. He just talks about how he enjoyed Lily as a student and was good. But in the movies, they add this story about how one day on his desk there was a like bowl with a little petal from a lily flower, and that turned into a fish. And then he lived with this fish, named it Francis, and had this fish for, I guess, years. And then the day that she died, he went downstairs and it was just gone. Which I think is like, I don't know, it's like a good way of like illustrating like the sadness he feels of like that she died, and that he did like genuinely care about Lily as a student.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It kind of says a lot about their relationship too, like how she, gave that to him and he kept it for years, and like, so she clearly was close with him as well.
Yeah, like she was part of the slug club. We know that she was supposed to be good at potions. So he might have been like one of her favorite teachers, or, someone that she got along with. We don't know if she did like potions club or some, like did more extracurriculars with him too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, do you believe in luck in the real world? Like, do you have lucky charms or things that you carry, or do you think luck is a real thing?
This is hard because it's like I do in some sense, like, when you find a 4-leaf clover or something, like I think that's pretty significant. You know, I guess when it's like socially like a thing, like, St. Patrick's Day, wear green or people will pinch you and you're not lucky and blah 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 blah, or like I try to avoid walking on grates or walking under ladders. Like, I don't know, I just like try not to jinx myself if I can. So in a way I do, like, because I very much avoid or lean towards events like that mean luck. Like, when you find a coin on the ground, if it's not heads, I'll flip it to be heads so then the next person can have it. I don't know if that's more luck or superstition, but like I
Yeah.
guess I believe in it because I definitely do all the normal things.
You're clearly
you're
like going out
to
of way. But what's interesting is you own a black cat.
Okay, you know what's so funny about you mentioning that? The black cats get such a bad rap. Zelda is like the best cat in the world. Like, she was literally from the street. Got her from the parking lot. She doesn't knock over stuff. She doesn't climb up curtains. She doesn't do anything bad. She doesn't want my food. She just sniffs it. So like, she doesn't. The only bad thing she does is sometimes when she stretches, and it's only when she's stretching, she will like claw my couch a little bit, but it doesn't do any damage. But I yell at her, but that's the only bad thing she ever does. She uses her cat tree. She's never missed the litter box. Like, I don't know, I don't get how people, and they're almost like the dogs of cats are black cats, because she's like a Velcro cat, so she's always in the same room as me. Like, several times as I'm recording the pod, she's coming over here and like weaving in and out of my legs. So I don't know, black cats do really get a bad rap, because there's the whole like online community of black cat people, and they're like the best. They're like the ultimate cat.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like actually like messaging a tattoo artist. I'm actually gonna get a black cat tattoo with the word lucky underneath it. So I'm glad you said that.
Nice. Yeah.
'Cause I'm gonna break the stigma, girl.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like if a black cat crosses your path, it's supposed to be unlucky.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that. Yeah, if a black cat crosses your path, it's an unlucky thing. And then also like a lot of the Salem witch trial stuff, like, with witches, it's associated with black cat.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. Like witches just in general, I feel like are very much like associated with black cats.
Yeah. But there's also too, this is spreading awareness. There is a Black Cat like appreciation day. And it's the point of it is for black cat owners to actually post about black cats and kind of raise awareness so more people adopt black cats, because also really sad statistic, I think like black cats are they're the least adopted cat because people associate them with bad luck. So if you hear that, definitely consider the little black kitty in your shelter, because they're probably the best one there.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you might be like a little superstitious, as Michael Scott would say, a little stitious.
Yeah, I'm very stitious, I'd say. What about you? Do you believe in luck in the real world?
I don't know. I don't think I'm a very like mystical, magical believer in the real world. But I like, to answer this question, I started looking up like what is like the research on this, or like is there any? Of
course,
like...
you can't just give your opinion. You have to go research it. I can't.
I don't like off the top. I would say like no. I don't think of like luck. I think like everything is randomness, and there's coincidences, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what did you find when you looked it up?
Well, I found that apparently luck is a real thing in the sense that there are lucky people and unlucky people, but it's not the way that you think. You might think.
Oh God, are we gonna get into like a gratefulness conversation of like, oh, I'm so lucky to have found you, Renee.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I'm a Capricorn.
Wow, you're not
I'm
lucky
not
to
very
have found
touchy.
me.
I'm not touchy feely like
Wow,
that.
okay.
But like, so I guess maybe sort
That's
of.
it for the pod. I'm off. I'm logging off.
No, I'm like, I'm grateful for things. I don't know if that's like,
yeah, I guess that's different.
Luck. Yeah. So this Forbes article that I found, it was about like the science of luck. So it's basically was saying that luck is not to be found but fostered. And so I'll try to like explain. So apparently this psychologist Richard Wiseman, however you say it, spent a decade studying luck and found that lucky people who are like considered lucky people shared common habits and perspective that made them more likely to attract positive outcomes. Wow. And then people that were considered like people that might be considered unlucky people were like too focused on their bad fortune and they, prepared for failure. It was like a cognitive bias, right?
Yeah.
So his research says that luck is more of like a skill that anyone can develop. Like you can become a lucky person if you kind of work on the way that you approach life.
Is it kind of like the same, like kind of what we've been saying of like how Harry essentially just has a lot of confidence?
Kind of. So like one thing is, so there's a Stanford study on opportunity and innovation found that individuals who engage in exploratory thinking, which means like remain open to new experiences, connections, and ideas, are significantly more likely to stumble upon like career defining moments and like business breakthroughs. So I think like that's kind of what you're saying. Like, Harry's like open to like going down the pumpkin patch or like, going to this funeral that doesn't sound great. And then he ends up having this like great opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's true because it's almost like, let's say like, you are like, oh, I don't know, I'm like never gonna meet my person, blah, 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 blah. And then it's just like one random thing you said yes to that's like you meeting your person. And that's like, would you consider yourself like lucky for having gone to that event? But that's something that you forced yourself to do. And that was like the positive result of it.
Exactly. So the article has said that there were 3 practical strategies to make yourself become lucky. And the 3 are cultivate attentional luck, reframe setbacks as setups, and take more chances. So like breaking those down, cultivate attentional luck is what you're saying, like actively look for opportunities. Research shows that diverse interactions and exposure to new ideas increases the likelihood of discovering unexpected opportunities. So, like the article said, like engaging in conversations outside of your industry or your usual circles, attending an event, like you said, like reaching out to an unfamiliar colleague and like making a new connection, explore ideas outside of your comfort zone. So it's like, that's exactly what you said, like pushing yourself to go to some networking event, creates that opportunity for you to then meet someone that becomes like significant in your life.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God, wait a minute.
That's how we met.
That's literally how we met. Yeah. That is crazy. I just didn't even like connect that until you finished that sentence. And I was like, huh.
Yeah, we've been friends for like years from this random, like super random meetup of like a friend of a friend.
Yeah, literally. There were like 10 other girls there too. And it was like, we just so happened to like sit next. Imagine if we didn't sit next to each other, dude. Because I didn't talk to half the girls at the other end of the table.
Yeah, like I think that just like, that's what it goes into is that's where like the attentional luck. But then you could argue that like just the happen chance randomness of us sitting next to each other was like that indescribable thing that like made it work. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking too, like I was trying to think about this for the article is more like targeted, I feel like, to like business, but like I think you could think about this in your personal life, or like something I was thinking of is it's really easy to just be like, I won't really do my makeup or hair today, or like I don't really care how I dress. But if you like do those things and you leave the house thinking like, I'm going to find a great opportunity today, I'm going to get dressed like for success, or like get dressed and feel good, that might cause you to then be more willing to go to the store, do something that might lead to something good in your life, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Because I feel like when I'm more like polished, like if I had time to get ready, if I chose a cute outfit, I will talk to people a lot more than if I just was like, oh, I had to run out of the house. Like, I'm just going to be more to myself today. Like,
Yeah.
I regularly describe myself as someone who talks to people in the elevator. And so it's like, but it's funny because I have moods where I definitely don't. And then other days where I'm like chatting it up with people, right? So, and I think it has a lot to do with like my confidence that day.
Yeah. So like, I think it's saying like just being of that mindset of like, yeah, putting yourself out there and like looking for opportunities. So then
Mm-hmm.
the second thing was reframing setbacks as set up. So like when you face rejection, failure, bad luck, whatever you want to call it, like framing it as what good can come from this situation? How can I turn this into a win? Instead of taking that victim mindset. And it seems like lucky people don't think they're unlucky. Like lucky people don't go get rejected and go, oh no, like this is the end of the line for me. They'll be like, you know, the people that like go on Shark Tank, get rejected, but like still go about their business and like then make millions of dollars. Like they don't take that as like, they might take the constructive criticism from something and then move it forward, or like learn from that experience and then continue on, you know?
Yeah. No, I can see that.
And the last part was taking more chances. So like the whole idea that fortune favors the brave, a lot of people like heard that saying. But I think like when people hear like take more chances, take more risks, I feel like people go like so extreme with it, and it doesn't have to be that extreme. So like they called it smart bets or calculated risks. And like some examples they gave was like speaking up in a meeting, pitching a new idea, investing in a relationship. Like those are like it's not like, I think people like think risk and they're like bungee jumping, like skydiving, like go travel across the world, or like, but, and I think like
quit your job,
yeah, like make a bet, like gamble all your money, but like
yeah,
there's small risks. And I feel like this is so true because I feel like I know people who are super conservative, and like, and it's like the little things too. Like maybe they don't want to like try a new restaurant or something, or they're too scared to kind of like take a little bit of a risk in their career by like switching jobs or something. And then like over time, I feel like they don't have as much experience, they don't get exposure to things because they just don't like kind of push themselves, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so supposedly if you want to become a lucky person, you try to do those 3 things and then you'll increase your luck in life.
Well, we gotta try it, Renee.
I guess so. We gotta test it out. We gotta like
take a risk.
Start taking more risks. Start putting ourselves out there more. You know, don't take rejection as the end of the line. And life will start looking up for both of us.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought I was recording a podcast episode, not in my therapy appointment. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening.
Next episode, we will be discussing Celestina Warbeck. Until then, happy reading, happy listening, and may you never be eaten by an acromantula.